At 17 I got a nurse suspended.
I was telling a friend this story and he told me to post it here. So in high school I worked as a certified nurse's assistant at a local nursing home. I only worked on the weekend because my parents wanted me to focus on school during the week. Anyone in the health field knows you cannot work with the elderly when you are sick because some elderly people can die from the common cold. When I was 17 I got really sick. I got sick on a Tuesday with a light cough and by Friday I was going into 10-minute coughing fit. The next Monday was Labor Day. My regular doctor was closed all weekend. My parents decided we couldn't wait until Tuesday and went to the ER. I had a bad case of bacterial pneumonia. For those who don't know, regular pneumonia usually results from a bad case of the flu or another illness. But a perfectly healthy person can be in Walmart, for example, and walk by another person with BP who sneezes and breathes it in. It's extremely contagious. I was admitted to the hospital and hooked up to tubes. Turns out I was also dehydrated from being so sick. Around midnight I realized I needed to call in since I won't be able to work the next 3 days. So I called the nurse's desk and told the RN on duty that I have been diagnosed with pneumonia and won't be able to work this weekend and most likely the weekend after due to the possibility I will still be contagious. She told me, if you wanted a 3-day weekend you shouldn't have volunteered to work. You can't fake a cough to get out of work in the real world, sweetheart. Then hung up. I asked my dad what I should do. He took my phone and took a picture of me in the hospital bed. Then we got a signed note from the doctor and took a picture of that. He then told me to email those to the director of nursing for the facility. I did that and also told her what the RN had told me. Thing is, at this facility any calls through the nurses station are recorded to protect the facility from lawsuits and or protect the residents from negligent caretakers. She was on record telling me what she did. When I returned 2 weeks later I learned she had been suspended for 8 weeks without pay for negligence. Edit. There are a lot of people asking how this was MC. During my CNA classes we are told to protect the residents no matter what, even if it costs our positions. I went over many heads, directly to the Don, which could have gotten me fired. Sounds like you worked at a decent nursing home that actually cares about their residents. They're few and far between. I got food poisoning when I was about 20 and was meant to work 21 hours in 2 days. As vomiting on shift so had to go home. I was actually sent home by both my supervisor and manager. One of the women I worked with told the big boss that she thought I was hungover because the night before we'd gone out for a friend leaving due and I'd been drinking. I had 1/3 of a bottle of wine with dinner and then left. Plus I was a university student so could hold my booze well. So the big boss called me but I was on the toilet vomiting into the bath. Great visual. I apologize. And I asked my mom to answer my phone. She did not appreciate the accusation and explained very politely that I wasn't that stupid, disrespectful, and also that I was puking my guts out. Also, that I wouldn't throw away 21 hours worth of pay like that. The big boss was very nice to me after that. You didn't sound sick enough over the phone. Pro tip: always try to hack up some phlegm right into the microphone for realism. My grandma was in a rehabilitation center after surgery and the nurse's assistant at the desk apparently had dementia. Forgot to feed her a few times, go figure. If she forced you to come back while sick, it would be every nursing home's worst nightmare. You did the right thing. Fuck that nurse. I wonder if this triggered an audit of that particular nurse's call history and discovered something more. That nurse got herself suspended. Probably covering their $1. If you went to the director that fast they probably assumed you go to media next. I love a story with a happy ending. When she was 21, my daughter worked for a call center. They were known for not being very good employers. I would drive her to work every day and babysit my 3-year-old granddaughter. I went to drive her to work one morning and she looked like death. Told me she had been up all night vomiting and had a horrific headache. I immediately took her to the emergency room. She called her work to tell them that she wouldn't be there. Got some attitude, but they couldn't say much. Turns out she had developed type 1 diabetes and was critically ill. She was immediately admitted to the ICU for a week. I called to update her work on what was happening. They told me if she did not call in every morning that she would be fired. I immediately sent a scathing email to the head office about the ethics and legality of forcing someone to call from the ICU every morning or lose their job. I got a very apologetic phone call from head office agreeing that this was unacceptable, and that they did not expect to hear from her for at least 2 weeks and her job would be waiting for her. Not sure what head office said to her location, but when she returned to work she was told that she could take whatever time she needed during the day for snacks and testing her blood sugar, etc. There was also a missing manager. A good revenge story, but I don't see MC in it. She should have been fired. I'm going to correct one thing though, about how you described pneumonia. Almost all forms of pneumonia are highly contagious. There is no normal pneumonia. Most pneumonias will fall into the classification of bacterial or viral. Pneumonia is an opportunistic infection that does seem like it likes to follow the flu. But that is just because it is easier to infect a person whose immune system just put up a fight against another illness. But make no mistake, that pneumonia is still highly contagious. The nurse should have known this, and should have known as a healthy person you would not have had fungal pneumonia. Less contagious, or aspiration pneumonia, not contagious. Any other pneumonia has the potential to make others sick, including walking pneumonia, so stay home until your doctor clears you. Because if you get pneumonia after the flu, you are still contagious. I only know this because I've had quite a few pneumonia hospitalizations from the past 2 years in. They went into a deep explanation so I could explain to my boss why they were wrong about asking me to stay when my doctor called with the results of a CT scan showing I had pneumonia. Pneumonia is nasty. I don't care who you are. You can be the strongest person on earth. It can bring you to your knees. Now imagine a frail senior. Stupid nurse. Hopefully she learned her lesson. And to back you up on another comment, you can be a CNA at 16 in my state. The local high schools have a program for it. I got pneumonia and went to the doctor. She told me not to work for 3 weeks. I called my work and said I couldn't work, I have pneumonia. The assistant manager asked, "Well, can you at least work tonight?" I was flabbergasted, and told her I could die. Lol. Some people only suspended without pay, should have been demoted or something. It's only a matter of time though before she fucks up again if she's that clueless and heartless. What I hate about some of the nurses that work at nursing homes is they have never been a CNA. They don't understand that we are their eyes, ears, and main caretakers of the elderly. Those are the nurses that treat CNAs like crap. In my opinion, all nurses should have to work a year as a CNA so they can understand what we do and maybe appreciate what the CNAs do. I used to work with a nurse that wasn't a CNA and she was horrible to us. One night, we were short 2 people on a shift that's supposed to be 4 CNAs. She wouldn't help us, didn't even try to find someone else to come in. We had to take care of 43 people by ourselves. Thank goodness the other CNA was awesome to work with. Evening shift is hard enough with 4 people, let alone just being 2. The nurse ended up getting fired a couple weeks later for stealing meds. Okay, op. You did not get that nurse suspended. Her shitty, condescending and unsafe behavior got her suspended. My sister worked at nursing homes for about a year, and any time anyone was sick, they guilted them into coming in, regardless of what they had. My mom is the VP for the nursing department of a company that runs nursing homes. The things I hear from her about staff not doing their job is almost saddening. Elderly people can die from the common cold. Putting sick patients into nursing homes these past months is an unspoken scandal of horrifying proportions. How people have not been jailed for this astounds me. Where is the compliance though?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.